Of all the classrooms an RCMP cadet will spend time in, they'll likely log the most hours in this one, learning how to apply deadly force with precision. A CBC analysis of police-involved deaths since 2000 found 461 people died in interactions with police. 118 of those deaths involved the RCMP, which polices nearly 8 million people in Canada. 14% of the people shot and killed by RCMP were unarmed, more than twice the national average. Recently, they've introduced methods to better train people, going a little more high-tech than paper targets. Think of it as a giant gaming system. There's pepper spray, a baton, and as a last resort,
we supply them with a pistol, which is the exact same pistol that our members use, except it's modified to have a laser in the barrel, and it shoots the laser towards the screen.
What's your problem?
This game is harder than it looks.
Are you going to shoot me?
Hey, calm down. I don't want you. I want you to just calm down and relax.
And it puts you on the spot.
Right now, you've got that time. You've got that window to keep the verbals going like you've got.
But in this program, talk is not enough. And not using force isn't an option.
If he hits you in the head and it causes you to go unconscious and you go down, what's he got access to?
Everything.
Everything, including your?
My gun.
Then what could happen?
I would be dead.
Potentially.
Yeah.
What?
It's hard to figure out the exact moment it's too late for pepper spray and time for lethal force.
You.
Just relax. Let's just talk this through.
You better do something quick.
Okay. Sorry. Gonna have to do this.
You son of a bitch!
The more we can expose them to it, the more practice we can give them, hopefully the better they'll perform out in the field.
Cadets are also trained on how to calm themselves down in a crisis. It's a technique called combat breathing.
It's taking in a deep breath and holding it, releasing it, and pausing before you take the next one. It brings the heart rate down. It breaks the tunnel vision and allows them to regain their focus and make sure that they're getting a complete picture.
But the former head of the Toronto Police Service Board says there's still far too much of an emphasis on guns in police training.
It is the bulk of their training. And they have to recertify every year in use of deadly force. What is the message they get? That this is the most important skill that they have.
Hell no.
But maybe the skills learned in this classroom will mean officers will be less likely to have to use the skills from this classroom in the field. Katie Nicholson, CBC News, Regina.
The CBC News analysis shows that on average, every 2 weeks, someone dies in an interaction with police, and sometimes that comes with criminal consequences for the officer involved. Of the 461 cases since 2000 involving a fatal interaction with police, the CBC could only identify 18 where criminal charges were laid against an officer. Just 2 of those resulted in convictions. Constable James Forcillo was found guilty of attempted murder in the death of Sammy Yatim on a Toronto streetcar in 2013. And Sergeant Eric Delorier was found guilty of manslaughter in the fatal shooting of teenager David Hughes Lacour in 2014. Both are appealing their convictions.